Drug abuse is a menace to our society, and this has happened for so many years. But very disturbing is the fact that a lot of young people are taking drugs. And the effect of taking drugs is that it kills your vision, it kills your dreams, it takes life out of you. But today on the program, our guest, John Olusegun, will be telling us all we need to know as regards how to eradicate drug abuse and of course how to manage your loved ones, your friends that might be into drugs, all right, and how to stay out of it entirely. Plus, recently, Nature Renaissance International Limited launched their charcoal toothpaste and children's toothpaste on the 16th of August 2025. That's one report you'd love to watch. It is an innovation in dental care in Nigeria and across Africa. My name is Nkem Okibe. I'm your regular host on this program. We'll go on a quick break. When we return, we'll quickly take that report before we go to the interview with John Olusegun. Stay with us. Health Watch continues in a moment.
It is a new dawn for dental care in Nigeria and Africans at large as Nature's Renaissance International Limited, an indigenous company, launched its charcoal paste and children paste on the 16th of August 2025. The event had in attendance key stakeholders, including government officials and traditional leaders.
The purpose of today's event is to unveil and celebrate the launch of our latest innovation, UATD toothpaste. These products represent a breakthrough in dental care, setting a new standard in quality and making an exciting addition to our product line.
The launch of UATD toothpaste is a call to every African to see value in our own land, our skills, and our enterprises. Let this moment mark just the birth of a product, but this strengthening of a movement, one that keeps wealth within our communities.
This innovative product, crafted with locally sourced charcoal and other indigenous ingredients, marks not only a significant milestone for the company, but serves as a pointer as to what is possible when we embrace our natural resources with pride and ingenuity.
Speaking at the event, the Chief Executive Officer of NRI, Professor Clinton Brown Odiagwe, emphasized the importance of harnessing local herbs and promoting indigenous products. He stated that beyond the launching, NRI is igniting a movement rooted in empowerment and opportunities, with a space for alert incentive.
The bold statement today also is to say that Africa has so much to offer the world, beginning from Nigeria. UATD charcoal toothpaste with herbal extract, not just herbal, a toothpaste with, unimaginable health benefit, but the most importantly, paste for alert. Paste for alert. You paste to the bank. That's what it means. A unit of the toothpaste is selling for 3,000. For every 3,000 naira you spend to buy a toothpaste, the company reward you with 5,000 naira within 24 hours. So it has never been, and this is the first of the kind in the whole world.
Now, to the main business of the day, the unveiling of UATD, EYI charcoal toothpaste and children paste with herbal extracts.
Service to humanity, glory of God. Thank you. Thank you.
Guests at the event echoed the need to support homegrown products.
The government of the day is actually promoting local production. Let us produce what we consume. We shouldn't be a consumer nation where we just import and create jobs for other countries. So what is happening today is really a good thing for Nigeria and everybody, because there's a value chain. The federal government is promoting developing the value chain of our natural medicinal products.
Anytime a new product is born that is Nigerian, that is for Nigerians and beyond, and that will empower Nigerians, we naturally celebrate, because it will inject new life into the economy, it will create jobs, it will provide opportunity for people, and this is a wellness product. It has to do with oral hygiene. So it's a good one.
Nature's Renaissance International is not just a global healthcare company, but also focused on wealth creation through an amazing multi-level marketing platform that has been very rewarding to the marketers and customers. Some marketers with outstanding performance were presented a car award. It was indeed an exciting moment.
I never knew that I'll be a car owner today. Just a year of joining this business, this company awarded me with this beautiful car.
Nature's Renaissance International Limited was created in 2020 with about 250 distribution bays currently. It is dedicated to improving the health of mankind through developing the finest of healthcare solutions using African herbs.
I like the fact that one of the government officials that attended that event said that we need to come back home, we need to look at our homegrown herbs and begin to look inwards, begin to patronize our own products. All right, moving on, our interview with John Olusegun is to talk about drug abuse, how to stay out of it, and of course how to manage our loved ones that are living with drugs. All right, let's go on that interview. Health Watch continues. Stay with us.
When we talk about substance abuse, is similarly talking about people using some kind of chemicals, or let me say drugs, largely out of prescription or out of what is meant to do. And sometimes they use more of it, or frequently more than they should use it, or even when it is not needed at all, or using it to cope with normal day activity that they could have coped with without using that drug. In our own word, we say that is a problematic use of substance that is largely characterized with compulsion to get it and to use it, despite having harmful effect on them. They just keep going back to it. So that's what we refer to as substance abuse. Yeah, I can say that the country is in a state of emergency for drug use right now. Different types is coming up, starting from the usual one that we used to know then, something like cannabis, the regular Ido or something like that. People will say, don't be like this person or something like that. Even alcohol, so to say, it is widely accepted, but it is also a substance that, when it touches the brain, it changes certain activity of the brain, it alters the mood, alters the behavior. We are beginning to see more like different variant of cannabis. Something like loud is a synthetic cannabis. that a lot of people will use to alter or to give them some kind of high, so to say. We've seen people use Colorado or something like that, which is also a synthetic cannabis as well. Interestingly, this thing can even be smoked under your roof and you won't even know. Sometimes they don't smell like the typical cannabis that you know about. We have a lot of them. We have ice. Like some of people would also say, you want to stay awake, you don't want anything, they'll take it. And you see people go into prescription, what they call it, drugs, something like tramadol, opioids. You see some people even use injection, shoot themselves. People are moving away from heroin or cocaine and things like that. And we have a lot of them. One thing about all of these substances is that when people use them, they might start from maybe just using just a little. Then you see them graduating to using more. Their life now revolves around the use. They are recovering from the use. Then they are looking for money to get what they are going to use and use again. So the cycle continues in that angle, and a lot of things are impaired. Work, school, relationships, and the like. So the list go on. In party now, they will even be nailing some things from balloon, and you are asking, what is that about? But it is substance somewhere inside. So some of them you know the name, some of them you don't know the name. But anything that is altering people's feeling, you don't just change your feeling to highness without touching somewhere on the brain. And that is what we refer to as psychoactive substances. Men, where we talk about men, I was talking with some group of men. I said, okay, when you hear men, what comes to mind? Say, responsibility, that means you are there taking care of this, taking care of that. Now, for men in this socio-cultural environment, it is important for us to, relate with them that they have a lot of responsibility. They are addressed as sorting things out, getting answers to things. And we are also in an emotionally suppressing environment where they cannot really show some certain emotions. So all of these factors make it somewhat a fertile ground for substance use and abuse to thrive. Because for men, one of the things that I realize happen is that they use substances to cope with certain difficulties in their life. They lose job, they're having problem with their marriage, they are doing this. The next thing is, just take 1 or 2 bottles and you'll be fine. Now from there, they start staying in the bar house from morning till night, not going home. Some of them will take some of these substances to enhance their sexual performance. Yes, I've seen a couple of them, and before you know it, they are hooked on the substance. It might cause another problem, such as the substance induce erectile dysfunction. That could come. You can also see for men, money problem. They want to sort this, they want to sort that, and that is also impairing on the risk for substance use for men. I've seen a couple of people that say they take this loan, take that loan. Then the worry about the loan and things like that make them to say, they are escaping the reality by shifting towards substance use. So aside from that, the early life experience of some men also play a long role. I know right now there's a lot of group for girls in this, girls in that. How many of this is done for boys? Because I tell people that the man you are seeing is the son to the child. That is the child, the son is the father of a man. What they had experienced while growing up, how many forums is available for them to resolve it? And some of them are going on with a lot of trauma in their head without getting it resolved. So trauma, money problems, relationship problems, trying to cope with all of these things are some of the factors that drive them closer to substance use. For men, you know, which of course I call men endangered species, because if you look at the ratio of men to women in the general population, they can tell you that the ratio is not balanced. Yeah, that's just the truth. So I call us, endangered species in many ways, And when you now add drug to a species that is already endangered, that's a lot of problems. Largely, we say that the drug affects one very important area of the brain, and that is the frontal cortex. That is the decision-making part. Is the one that is capable of rational thinking and the like. So if someone uses substances for whatever reasons, the ability to make the right call, the right judgment is eroded. In turn, it will be giving the person poor decisions. That's why you see the person borrow money more than usual, see the person get into trouble here and there, which creates more problem, stress for them. So they are trying to cope with stress with it. Meanwhile, using it is also creating more stress. That is in terms of their mental health. Also, in the poor decision making, because of that area of the brain that is affected, you see a lot of them going into domestic violence. Yes, after they have drink finish, they enter house. The trouble that they think they have run away from is waiting. So, and the drink is still there. It has inhibited the part of them that can think right. So before you know it, the hand is raised like automatically, and the next thing you see is just here and there. Yes. So you see a lot of domestic violence, abuse to the children, abuse to everybody in the home, and just starting from there is starting from their own. When they now sit down and think about it, a lot of guilt, shame, and the likes come on them. I'm talking about men that I've had to intervene with, in my course of practice. And I can also tell you, in the mental health of men, it promotes addiction. Because addiction is something, it's not just use. Like we're saying before, that not everybody that use will end up having some addiction. However, the use increase your risk to becoming addicted to it. So it promotes that tendencies to want to seek compulsively the substance, and gain tolerance that small one will not do you again until you have to take more than and start adding and mixing, like science students that they'll call themselves. And this is very, very important. In other mental health capacity, you see men coming down with depression, anxiety, and suicidal behaviors. I will tell you that many of the suicide completed by men have an involvement of substance. Check it out. In many of the suicidal completion cases for men, you see that it has involvement of one substance or the other. You must have read about some celebrities that they just found in their tub or OD'd or whatever it is. And by the time you are exploring the case, they'll tell you, oh, this person was having some bankruptcy issue or dealing with something. Substance use have a way of triggering and maintaining some psychological problem like depression and anxiety. And that's one thing I want men to know, because we can't escape from reality. By the time you leave the substance, the reality remains and you are going to face it. So, and also it makes men have low coping resources, because if you have escaped for it for a long time, you would have forgotten how to even deal with issues the way it is. So they lose the basic coping resources that they should have, because they have escaped the reality using substance for a long time. So I've seen also that substance use progress into psychotic behavior, and now I like to close with that. That is with substance use, irrespective of the ones you're using, likely cannabis or whatever it is. Many people come down with psychotic expression. They start seeing things that other people are not seeing, hearing voices that is not there. Oh, they want to come and kill me. Everybody is after me. They will carry machete and put it under their this and that, so that if anybody come, I'm talking about cases I've seen. If anybody come, I don't want to injure anybody. I'm just using that to protect me. How will you keep a new branded machete, and you want your wife and children to still stay under the same roof with you? they leave. They leave. So they start, having some psychotic expression that required immediate intervention in that process. So quite a lot of mental health issues that come up with substance use. Regarding, is there hope? Is there help for these people? And I would say that yes, there's help. For persons with addiction, particularly to substance use, we say that the treatment is usually a biopsychosocial one. Because of the thing that we've had in our environment, some people see it as a character failure or a village people attack. So the first line of this thing is usually we'll go to church or we'll go to mosque or go to all these baba and things like that. See, I'm not an atheist here. We are in Nigeria together. However, this has been proven to be a health situation. And I've seen people get more results using the rehabilitation process. Now, for biological, how do you address someone that is already shouting, maybe saying, I'm seeing someone, or I'm hearing some voices, and you can't hear, you can't see? It's just a show that the drug that the person is using have touched certain part of the brain. And there's no amount of talk at that moment that you can do that can really address that. So the best thing probably what you want to do is for you to involve a clinician, maybe a psychiatrist in this context, to administer some medications to address the psychotic episode to calm down. So if psychotic episodes are addressed, by medications or so, then there are some psychological issues that probably trigger this thing that need to also be addressed. People don't just come down with substance use issue. Maybe they have some disappointment in life that they can't cope with that led them into that place. So all those trauma, abuse that we need to address too, then the psychological part will be taken care of by professionals, psychologists perhaps. Then there is need for social support. The social part is because humans are not cut out to just live by themselves. So sometimes when they come to our clinic, you treat them and you let them out. And the family you have come, you have started again, you have do this again, and we decide to alienate them or stigmatize them. They feel like it is them against the world. So say, what's the essence? Then they go back. And for people that have people around them that have this substance use problem, it's important for you to first recognize that this is an health problem. I mean, you would not stigmatize someone that have hypertension or diabetes. So also, let us not stigmatize them. The assumption that, they are, they are destructive, they are this, maybe we need to adjust that and try and help them to see purpose and meaning with life. As much as possible, we can also help them point out what they are doing right and reinforce what they are doing right. Because I've seen some people going through recovery and they say when they leave the, after we do the, detoxification, we do the psychotherapy and they went back. But even when they were doing things right, people will not see it and recognize it. But if they do one thing wrong and say, you have gone back to smoking, you have done this. Although they might not have gone back to smoking, but because they did that one thing wrong, then they were. But when they were doing certain things right, did we recognize it? Did we reinforce it? Did we celebrate them? So some of this positive support and less stigmatization and bringing them at the right time. Because sometimes we'd have gone to Kafancha and Sokoto after putting them for some 4 years with one cleric and whatever it is, and now say, okay, let us come and, sometimes you have made them go through a long duration of untreated psychosis, and you now want the best of results. So much of awareness, we give people idea of how better we can support them. We support them with love, try to understand that they are human and they are separate from the substance. You can still see that person when you take the substance away from them. And I think that support is very, very important.
And that's where we draw the curtains on this week's edition of the program. One of the things I would like to add to today's edition is the fact that drugs, in fact, it kills your dreams. It takes you out of focus, all right? It damages your entire health system. It does you no good, all right? So if you're into it or you know someone that's into it, I know it's going to take a while, but you can actually come out of it. If you have questions, you have inquiries, of course, you love to sponsor this program, you love to see my face every week, send a message to 07060865487 or send a mail to okibeinkem@gmail.com. Thank you for being part of this week's edition. See you next week, same time, same station. My name is Nkem Okibi. Bye.
You want the best in news, info, and entertainment. NCA 10, NCA 10, Super Channel in sports and documentaries. NCA 10, NCA 10, even with movies, cartoon and live talk show. Fun toys and go for nothing less. Station for excellence. NCA 10 station for excellence.
NTA 10 station for excellence.
Want to try me? I am a child of God. It is written that God belongs to Ọgaranya ngadanga ọtanka tose odogwu akataka eze bi n'elu ọgọdọ ya na-akpụ n'ala otu onye a na-asụ na-abịala omemgbe ike gburu dibịa akpa aza ijele Lion of Judah, Agune Jemba, Holy Ghost power, Jesus.